Hello and welcome to this special episode of Storied San Francisco. We reached out to our Season 2, Episode 38 storyteller, Uncle Damien Posey, to see how he's doing. We wanted to hear his thoughts on race in the city and the current uprising for racial justice. Here's Uncle Damien.
I can speak to just the generalization, the racism that takes place in San Francisco, like it takes place in the rest of the world, as far as prejudice and stuff of that nature, I ain't never had nobody call me a nigger in San Francisco, but I've been racially profiled. I see a lot of prejudice when it comes to jobs, stuff, when it comes to some clubs in the city, even having work security at these places, it's because I work for them and I'm cool, Caucasian owners think that, I'm cool enough to say something like, don't let the hip hop dudes in or stuff like that. Not necessarily saying black, but you know what they mean, what they're insinuating when they say certain things, certain words, or like, look at him, look at the, with his pants sagging or his gold chain or something of that nature, even though black culture has engulfed the world. And, if you said that with your eyes closed, you would never know because shit, it could be a white dude, it could be a Filipino, they all looking the same nowadays almost, in certain parts, of the world, of the, of the USA mostly, I've seen stuff like that, experienced that.
Like coded stuff, right?
Yeah, coded stuff. And I think it's like, I'll just get into it. Me being, African-American male, and it's hard to understand, but me being a larger black man is even worse. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm 6 feet, 300 pounds. Always been kind of big for my size, and, if you're a big black dude, you are definitely a threat. And it's crazy now that I think about it. It's like nobody has said that to me. Like nobody from my other race that said, man, you're a big black dude, you're a threat. But it's felt so heavily that it. Like any big black dude knows that, other people look at him as a threat. And it's been rough for me as I, in my later years, because, as you know me now, everybody knows I'm Uncle Damien. I will be the first person to help you. You know what I'm saying? Over anybody. I'll get there faster than the police and the fire department. You know what I'm saying? But, for a white lady, a Caucasian couple, a Chinese lady walking down the street, she doesn't know that it's automatically get in defense mode, tuck your purse, lock your door, all that kind of stuff, and that shit hurts, man. Now it hurts because I have more empathy. I have some feelings. Before, when I was younger, I didn't care. I'm like, no, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Be afraid. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I think like, some black people exude that energy on purpose. Like, you might see, like in the communities, we have something that's called the mean mug. You pretty hip, what a mean mug is, that look you have in your face. And it's like, it's part community hood stuff. Like, I've been through a lot. Don't mess with me. I don't want to mess with. Like, I just look on my face. Don't F with me. You know what I'm saying? It's part of like to keep the battles the hood away, but it's also like, you know, for anybody else, because, you know, as much as African American violence likes to be spotlighted out against each other and against other people, we are the most victimized people, you know what I'm saying, ever. So it's like, you know, you are afraid of the monster you created, you know, and that's the realization of it, you know. Now I'm not giving people an excuse to act a fool, be looking crazy, mugging people, scaring people. But I mean, you know, we got to be empathetic. We got to be understanding. I mean, the times are now, like, let's ask these questions. Why is this white like this? And, you know, and that's the big thing. Like, you know, I need people to ask themselves, like, why, you know, why are people like this? Why are they doing this? Like, why are you, you know, the racist? Why are you racist? Why do you hate black people? Like, let's start getting to the root of it. Oh, because, you know, uh, black people do this, black people do that. Why do they do that? Let's get it, like, you know. And if people really, everybody has their thing. Like, you know, nobody's perfect. You know, I was talking to that about something like, you know, with my brown brothers and sisters, which the black and brown solidarity is getting heavy, and I'm loving it. I've always been about that, you know. But, you know, we have, everybody has their cultural differences, you know. Like, I don't know if you've ever lived next to like a poor Latin family when they're like 10, 20 deep in the house, which is cool. That's their business, you know. But then, like, on the weekends, or like I was at one player every night. They played the music hella loud, like, you know what I'm saying, and was like partying all the time. But that, and you know, that irritates you. But that's part of their culture or whatever they're doing, or the kind of music that they like the banda. I mean, I'm blessed, you know, to have knowledge of the world and like a lot of different things. Like, I love Latin music. I love banda. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know what banda is. It's like, you know, mariachi bands. They be having the big bands, and like, you know, every orchestra, every every instrument in the orchestra rolling with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. You know what I'm saying? But somebody else, especially like black people, they might not understand it. Like, man, all that room. But at the same time, same token, we rolled around, like, you see, you know, like, even myself sometimes, I'm like, man, this food look crazy. You know, he got the music in there, like, slapping. Like, you got this little car, you got like 800 speakers in it. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, you can't hear nothing. You definitely damaging your eardrums, you know, type situation. But that's part of our culture. I mean, Latinos do that too. You know, they got the lowriders, stuff like that, which I love. You know, but everybody's got their thing. You know, I don't know what complication people thing is, but if I thought hard enough, I would know. But everybody's got their thing, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, our differences is what makes us great, but people are using our differences to make us hate each other. And, like, you know what I mean? Stuff of that nature. It's the same thing with cannabis. You know, I'm a champion for cannabis, you know, and a lot of lies were told about cannabis, you know, that helped perpetuate a lot of racism against African Americans. Like, oh, they're smoking weed and they're raping white women and they're going crazy. So let's add to it. So we got to stop. Weed's got to be illegal, and we got to arrest black people and kill them and do all this kind of stuff. So it's like, you know, it's a whole lot that goes into it, man. But like I said earlier, you know, I believe that, you know, our differences is what makes us great, and we should unify. Like, I wouldn't even like the world if everybody was the same. Like, if everybody did the same thing that I did, you know, because I did it, like, I wouldn't even, that shit would be whack. You know,
it's boring.
It's boring. Like, I love other cultures. I love other people. I love seeing, like, quick fun fact about me, and that I tell people that shocks people. I don't know if I told you, but do you know what my favorite kind of music is that I like? So let me give you the backstory on it real quick. So as you know from last time, I was in prison. I did 10 years in prison. While I was in prison, I did around 17 months in the hole. A hole is a prison inside of a prison. Maybe the next podcast we can talk about why I went to the hole. But while I was in there, I did some things that I'm not proud of, being manipulated by the CEOs in there, but I had got a radio, and I was listening to the radio, and I just got tired of listening to the local radio station because it was just AM, FM. I got tired of listening to regular radio station. So I was flipping around and I found this station, and I hope it's still going. I can't remember the dial. I don't know why I can't remember, but it was called Music of the World's People. And I used to listen to that, and I just like, you know what? I'm tired of listening to the same stuff. I'm going to listen to something different and find what I like in it. Because I like music, I like tones, like I like rock and roll music too. Like certain parts of it I don't, but I like that guitar riff and I like the drum. So, if I can find certain parts of it that I like, I can eventually like the whole thing. So I used to listen to this show called Music of the World's People, and they had like different DJs come on every 2 hours. And they just I think it was like a free radio station. People just come in and play what they want, people from their homeland, like people from this part of the thing. And they come in and they play their hometown music and stuff of that nature. So, and this is where I found my favorite, and it's crazy, what I love and my favorite kind of music is Celtic music.
From Ireland, right?
From Ireland, yes. I love Celtic music, man. They tell a lot of stories in their music, and it'd be like, it's different. Like, it's kind of like rap because they be talking about some gangster shit too sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
And they rhyme.
And they rhyme, and the way they do it, and I just like how they flow and like, and like, you know what I'm saying? And then they be breaking it down on the little instruments, and just like, I'll be listening to that in my car when I'm by myself, and those differences among us make us great, man. And we need to learn how to uplift those things in us and not let those things divide us, and I think that everybody's entitled to their opinion. Some things are just like humanly right. I don't know if humanly is a word. You know what I mean?
It is now.
Right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Some things are just like, basic human rights. Like, come on now. Like, it's not right to treat other human beings like animals. It's not even right to treat animals like animals, depending on who you're talking to.
Right on.
Saying so, and that's been a big thing. Like, people are saying like people are go crazy if you do certain things to certain animals, man. But we see certain things happening to actual human beings, So it's like, come on now,
Right.
So come on now type situation.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like another come on now. It's like we in 2020, man. Come on now. Is we still racist out here? Is we still like, don't we know that, it takes all type of people to make the world go round. It's too late. Like, why are you being racist? It's over. It's already hella black and white babies. Like, my daughter's mixed. The mother of my daughter is German. She blind, blue eyes. You ain't gonna get no whiter than my baby mama. She clear. What's going on now is, like many have said, an eventual buildup of just like, enough is enough. It's definitely, because I don't like to be. So first of all, let me say I'm a self-sustained individual. So like, my opinions are my own. They don't completely reflect my organization, Us for Us, or Uncle Damien Speaks. But me as a person, I feel like part of it is definitely some bad leadership, of the country. I'm not going to give that no energy, but that's usually where things start, man. People are going to look to a certain, because the masses are sheep. Even the leaders, need leaders. I'm a quote unquote leader in the community leader, but I look to other dudes like Sean Richards, Rudy Corpich, Big Rich, those guys, Theo Miller, Kyan Baker, those guys, are, leaders, and so, people, are looking to the leadership of America in this country and other countries and are disgusted, for a certain degree. Some people are disgusted. And the funny thing is some people are inspired. Some people are motivated by our leadership. You understand what I'm saying? But they're motivated, in my opinion, in the wrong way. I can't say directly, but they just found 2 Black men hanging in trees in Southern California.
Right.
I believe that's from a lack of leadership, a false leadership of the country, and so that's what this is like being that all this is going on, and I've been in the fight, I've been in the fight. We can go back on my Instagram on my Uncle Damien Speaks page or my Once a Month Now Mentor podcast page and see I was here 5 years ago with Mario Woods. I was one of the people who, supported the Frisco 5 against popular, opinion. So, and it's like, here we are again. And it's crazy because it seems like, these things happen in bundles when they happen. And, because around that time, it was like Alex Nieto, Mario Woods, I think Mike Brown, Trayvon was like right before that. It's like, so it's like, man. And then, similar things happen, just like similar things happened in 92, man. The cities burned, people revolt. And then it's like, somehow, some way we get back to business as usual, but the difference between this one is this is on the backdrop of COVID. So everybody was sitting at home and, and then it's just like, if you got nothing to do but watch, like, and you watch that video of George Floyd, unless you are not a human being, unless you're not a person with any type of feelings at all, like I don't even know if that's possible. It's impossible for you not to be affected by that and understand that what happened was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Was wrong. So, and it's like, you're not feeling, and we got more bolder people. And like I said, because of the leadership, people are already upset. People are already ready to buck, so it's that. And then you got the other people on the other side that are ready to, fight for whatever they believe in. Like, I don't know if anybody's higher power or whatnot, but if you believe in angels, you have to believe in demons. You know what I'm saying? So, there's going to be a force for quote unquote good and a force for quote unquote bad, evil, and in my opinion, anytime you are teaching hate, perpetuating hate and prejudice against another person, without even knowing that person, that's evil. That's evil, and that's bad. It's not good.
Yep.
It's not good. And especially if you took an oath to protect people, you know what I'm saying, and to serve the people, that's doubly bad. That's what people don't understand. Like, oh, black on black crime, this and that and all that. And that's true and that's real. And I don't mean to speak past that because that's real. And that's definitely something we need to be marching for and fighting for as well. But when I was in the streets or the gangbangers I know, the oath they took was not to serve and protect. You know what I'm saying? They took a whole nother oath. So that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay, but you don't expect them to come in and help or to, do anything, positive. So it's not like, when a police officer arrives, you have a hope that, that they're there for a righteous cause and they're going to do something righteous. Like initially, like that's how they try to put their image out. But that's not exactly what happens all the time. And that's not what they were created for. If you go to the history, I mean, I'm pretty sure like everybody's a scholar now on all of this stuff because it's like you have to learn and you have to, like, it's in your face. You know what I mean? So everybody knows that the police were created as a slave catching patrol. You know what I'm saying? And how they treat slaves and all that kind of stuff and what they did and everything. And it hasn't changed. People are familiar now with Willie Lynch and the Willie Lynch letter. Maybe a little bit because you got to get a little bit deeper with your knowledge. But this is the stuff that I've studied, for years. And, I'm a workhorse. I'm a warrior. Like, I'm just out here. Like, I don't got to be, I speak and everything and I drop the science, from time to time. I motivate more, but, I don't be like all the stuff that I know. I was at Glen Mill School for Boys, which is a boys' home for all the baddest kids in the country. They sent me to in Philadelphia, and you have to have a job there. My job there, I was a library aide, and I did a lot of studying while I was there, and I watched all of the Eyes on the Prize and the civil rights and stuff like that. So I had learned a lot of stuff from there. So I've been knowing quite a lot, But Willie Lynch was. I would say he was a slave owner back in the day, but he was more than a slave owner to me. And knowing that he was like a oppressor prophet. You know what I'm saying? He was like the devil's Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
He wrote the book on how to oppress.
He wrote the book. He was one of the people who wrote the book.
Okay.
He wrote a letter called the Willie Lynch letter, how to train a slave, how to keep slave. Like, there's a short version and there's a longer version that gets like deep. And a lot of that stuff is still going on to this day.
I want to know where you're drawing your strength from these days and or what you hope, let's say the next 6 months, the next 2 years, what's going to happen on a wider scale?
So first and foremost, I draw my strength from my higher power. You know what I mean? Who has no name. I just got a personal relationship with God. That's my, I've studied several different religions and stuff of that nature, but I get my strength from a higher power and from my youth and from my community and the stuff that I see every day. Like I see every day, like it's COVID going on, it's racism, it's all kind of stuff. It's homelessness, it's joblessness, all kind of stuff going on. But these people out here that I'm with are still pushing forward. Like they have to keep going. So I have to keep going. As long as they're going, I have to keep going. Like I can't give up until everybody like gives up. If everybody's like, "Hey, fuck it, we quit," I'm like, "Oh, are we done?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but if there's one person, two persons that's still like trying to do like, because it's much needed because, I know the pain that I felt. Like a lot of stuff drives me from the pain that I felt. You know what I'm saying? Because I went through a lot, and I just me trying to make sure nobody else, especially young people, have to go through that without any guidance or support or feeling like they're not supported. Because that's all Uncle Damien is support. You know what I mean? Like I always say, I'm not a role model. I'm a real model. Don't do what I do, but I can help you get to where you want to go. Because I'm not really, quote unquote, successful at anything. So, but I definitely know some people who are, and I have some knowledge of some things so I can connect you, to the best of my ability. I can, people are motivated by my passion and want to ride with that. And I'm honored and appreciative and, push that. So it's like,
Are you inspired by what you're seeing, not only here in the Bay Area, but I mean, all over the nation, in towns, cities, around the world. Are you inspired by that stuff?
Yes, I am. I'm very inspired. I'm very proud, especially the young people out there that's standing up and, it's activated. They did, you know, they couldn't have did it at a worse, best time, because it's like, hey, Corona, we don't got nothing else going on really anyway, per se. And it's like everybody could see it. And now it's summertime, all the kids is out of school for real. Like, so it's like, this is going to, in my opinion, it's going to last at least through the summer. I mean, I've spoken and been in some meetings and heard some things to where I know that, it's going to be some people pushing at least to the end of the year, you know. So, some people aren't giving up. And, there's a lot of people, and I have to pay homage, I should have did it, to people who've been fighting this fight for years, their whole life. And like, they're dedicated to, it's like, I'm cool, I'm dope. I'm in my space. They got people who are like, them Al Sharptons, them Jesse Jacksons, them Amos Browns, and even though they have their flaws as well, them Obamas. Let me say that's what I should have said, Obama. Because the mother dude, man, the people who have dedicated their life to making themselves better to help make their communities better. I started after a 10-year prison sentence, so I got to pay homage to those people. But as great as he is, as much of an impact his presidency had on him becoming the first black president and all that, and, police still choking dudes out. Police still shooting people in the back, killing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what is needed? That's the only question I have. What is it going to take? Is it going to take everything to burn and rebuild? Like some of my friends have said, like, it's going to take complete anarchy, a burning down and a rebuilding of everything. Is it going to, is what has happened enough? Because I have seen a lot of change. The mayor just implemented some stuff, a lot of different cities. It's banning the chokehold. This is going down, that is going down. So some changes being made. And that's one of the main reasons why I support, per se, all the stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. I was on the bridge the other day when they shut the bridge down. I was in support of that. I wasn't up there with them. I got caught in the back, but I probably would have been up there with them. I might have got arrested. I don't know. That's not really my role. That's their role. My role is to support people. Like, me and my organization, us first, we was on the bridge while everybody was stuck for hours. I had a truckload full of water, snacks, hand sanitizer, masks. We were on the bridge. Somebody's got the footage. I got a few little pictures. I actually took a Black Power Fist picture. I went viral. We were on there passing out waters and stuff like that. And that's, that's the role I'm choosing to take up in this fight. People don't realize that, when you're in war, the people that take care of the soldiers are just as important as the soldiers. Those medics and the people making the food and the people washing the clothes, the people prepping the munitions and gas for things like that. Those people are just as important, because I know there's a lot of people, who got something to say. There's a lot of people who feel like they got something to do. And I pray and I hope that their longevity, is sincere, and that, they have it in them to sustain, because, like I've been saying a lot, like, this is a marathon, unfortunately. I wish that we could snap our fingers and everything would be perfect and right, but it's not, and it's not going to be. And I don't know why it is, but I do know that it needs to change, that it needs to stop. and that, you know, it can't happen. Me and you are good friends, you know what I'm saying? And we're probably polar opposite as a motherfucker. You know?
Right.
But
Doesn't matter.
exactly. You know, we all in this world together, and we all need each other one way or the other.
That was Uncle Damien. You can find him on Instagram at Uncle Damien Speaks and contact him at uncledamienspeaks@gmail.com. His group Us for Us is also on Instagram at us4us. We'll continue running our episodes with Black storytellers for the rest of this week, and we'll be back with new content starting next week. Music for Storied San Francisco is by Otis McDonald. Photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. The show is hosted and produced by me, Jeff Hunt. Thanks for listening. Stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy.